Hello, this is Matt Sorensen with Midland GIS. This demonstration will be focusing on the Identify tool that is built into our WebGIS platform. So you can see here when on this navigation tab there is an Identify button, and there are several actually different ways to identify layers within the website. I'll show you a quick example. If I just click on Identify button and then just hover my mouse anywhere on the map, let's say I want to identify this parcel or whatever layers that are turned on in that location, I can simply just click once, and over on the left under Identify Results window, it's going to give us the information on what layers are turned on that are identifiable. So if I click on the parcel, it will highlight it, and then if I click again right here where it says parcel, it'll zoom in on that particular property and then give me some basic information or the attributes of that particular layer. Let's go ahead and close that panel there and go back and close that panel. Let me kind of go back to where I was at. Now there's also other ways to identify. If you click on the Analysis tab, you're going to see where you can identify by just clicking a point, by drawing a freehand line, by drawing a polyline, a polygon, or a rectangle. Now, if you see the lowercase I on any of these, that just shows you it's just different ways to identify information within the website. So let's just say we're wanting to identify specifically all the properties within this area right here. Under the Analysis tab, I can click on the Polygon Identify tool, and just by clicking just once around, as long as I'm crossing the properties, it will identify it. So you don't have to go all the way around it as long as it's crossing somewhere. And then when I'm to the point where I'm done, getting back to the point of beginning, I can just simply double click, and then it will identify all of any layers that are actually turned on within that area. So you can see it's got one road that it identified. Let's go ahead and click on that. So it's that road center line that go back, click back there. We have 22 parcels. I just went ahead and clicked on those, and you can see where if I hover over, let me zoom out just a little bit here. So it actually selects them and outlines them in red. But if I just simply hover over, I don't have to click, but if I hover over each one of those over on the Identify Results window over here, it's going to tell me which one's which as I'm going down the list. I can go ahead and click on that, and it'll zoom in on that particular property if I want. Let's go back. Now, a new feature that's been added into the Identify is the ability to enable add results or enable subtract results. So let's just say in my Identify results, I did not really want these parcels here. I just wanted the ones on the outside. So at this point I could say enable subtract results, and now go in and simply go in and draw a polygon, double click. Now it's loading the results, and now you can see where I actually subtracted those results from my Identify list. Now I just have the properties that are around that road here. Same way as subtracting results, we can enable add results. So if I click on that and then come back down here again, and you can see where we still have the Polygon Identify selected, so I can just go back around those again, double click once I'm done, and now they're back in to our results over here on the left. So those are a couple of new features that have been added: the ability to add results to the Identify list or subtract or disable those as well. Let's go ahead and close that. Then there's also the identifiable layers. So if we click on that button, it's going to open up an identifiable layers window over here. And you can see where usually every layer is checked on to allow us to identify it. However, if that layer is not turned on in our main layers menu, it will not come up in the Identify Results window. So let's just say we're also wanting to identify the subdivisions, or the subdivision within that area as well. When I actually do click Identify, let's go ahead and turn that off. So if I did my Polygon Identify again, clicked around these, double click, you're going to see now that we actually have a result in our Identify Results for the subdivision as well. So even though that layer was checked on to be an identifiable layer, since we didn't have that layer, that specific layer, subdivision layer, checked on in our layers menu, it didn't come up in our results. So just if you're wanting to identify something, just make sure that it is turned on, or you're wanting to make sure that it shows up in the Identify Results, just make sure that that layer or those layers are turned on in your main layer window. So that wraps up the Identify functionality. Thank you.